What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Diusigana here, finally back from the dead, and I'm here to bring things on this channel back in track. Now, it's no secret that in the next 2 months we are going to be getting Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, meaning that Kanto is getting all that nice and clean attention again. So with that in mind, that is exactly what I'm going to base today's episode of the oh-so generically named Pokemon reviews on, because folks, today's episode is going to be based around one of my personal favorite ROM hacks out there, Pokemon Dark Violet. So with that in mind, enough of me rambling on, let's get this show on the road! Pokemon Dark Violet is a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red, made by a great contributor to the ROM hack community, Chaos Rush. Its development started in the end of 2012, shortly before Pokemon X and Y were announced. Feature-wise, it has a total of 210 Pokemon available, spanning from Kanto to Sinnoh, with many new moves from the later generations, as well as some that were never seen before, which even have their own animations. Of course, that also means that abilities from the later generations are also implemented in this game, along with the battle backgrounds and all the Pokemon sprites changing to look like Heart Gold and Soul Silvers, which is definitely a phenomenal touch. Speaking of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the entire Kanto region has been remapped to look like it and has lots of new as well as redone music, which is definitely the icing on the cake. Now that we're done with the features of this game, let's move on to the story. Now, while on paper it may look like that Pokemon Dark Violet isn't basically an enhanced version of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green from an aesthetic perspective, I think I should go on the record to say that it is far from just that. In fact, if we are to make actual comparisons, it can more or less be considered as its own Pokemon Adventures manga, in the sense that it is a completely different universe, with the already existing cast having a completely different personality and the events being different as a whole, which basically equates to its own story. For one, this game takes inspiration from Gen 5 in the sense that you and your rivals are in your 16s when you start your journey. Regarding rivals, it's not just you or Blue anymore, but Green is there as well, who makes up for Blue's cocky personality by being a generic goody two-shoes. Both of them also have their own battle music for the first time, which, while similar, has some serious variations in the end to help establish them as their own people. Now, while the game does start off very similarly to Gen 1 games, things immediately take a different turn when you encounter Team Rocket for the first time in Viridian City. You find out that their goal isn't simply reduced to just illegally selling Pokemon in the black market for profit, but rather gaining funds to create a machine with mysterious purposes known as the Devil's Prism. Furthermore, you're not simply reduced to just fighting Team Rocket grunts and its boss, but also two Team Rocket executives from Heart Gold and Soul Silver in Ariana and Archer, who even have their own variations in theme music, which greatly helps in distinguishing them from the other Team Rocket grunts. Their activities are much more vicious this time around as well, which with the overall presentation really helps in making you consider them as actual threats. Not only that, but you'll also meet Giovanni's son, whose name here is Kamon, or Camon, whatever you want to call it. He's 3 years younger than you, and just like in the original games, openly talks about his distaste for Team Rocket, considering them as weak and imploring you to stay out of his way in stopping them. The changes in events and personality doesn't stop here either, as even obscure characters like Blue's sister plays a role in the story and adds to the overall experience as well. It really did help cement that Pokemon Adventures manga feel, in the sense that while they are the same people, they are their own unique characters that cannot be compared to others. However, to say that Pokemon Dark Violet has no flaws whatsoever would honestly be one massive lie. What's wrong with the hack, you may ask? Well, here we go. While Dark Violet certainly presented a great concept in its storytelling, and on many occasions managed to execute it very well, there were many times where it managed to be inconsistent. The reason for that is the fact that when Chaos decided to start making this game, he was much younger and in his early teens, which played a massive factor towards making the storytelling unnecessarily edgy at times for the heck of it. It also made some scripted events in the game very questionably written and full of loopholes, which negatively affected some of the characters and pretty much just made you scratch your head in confusion. Here's an example. This section of the video contains spoilers, so if you're a person that does not want the story to be revealed and want to experience it for yourself, feel free to skip ahead in the timestamp mentioned right here. After you make your way through the rock tunnel, you exit just in time to see two Team Rocket grunts going after the Cubone, only to see its mother Marowak trying to save him. Obviously, this would mean that you're going to interfere and save them from the Rocket grunts, right? Awesome, let's do this. Dude? If you don't act soon, he's gonna... Oh. It's not just that either, which really irked me about this game, but if there's any individual character that suffered the most from the inconsistent writing at times, it'd have to be none other than Kamon himself. See, his character base and background in this game are very solid because he's a teen who lost his mother at a very young age due to a Pokemon being made by mankind running loose and killing everything in its path. This would be the catalyst behind his father Giovanni resenting the people of Kanto for being the cause of losing his wife and his son having to grow up without a mother, which made him decide that he would create the Devil's Prism and catch that Pokemon so that he could make the whole Kanto region suffer the same fate he did. As a result, Kamon wants to make sure that he and he alone is the only one that stops his father from doing so, as he genuinely believes that he is the only one that can get through to him. So yeah, very solid on paper, but in terms of execution of the role, I found it very lacking. First of all, for a guy who's had some severe family troubles and is usually reserved about it, here he is openly talking about it to almost everybody he comes across, even to a freaking random grunt of all people. And then there's him being helpful at one point, only to then be hostile and condescending in the very next second. While it definitely does live up to the idea of what a person his age that's going through puberty would act like, it really didn't leave a positive mark in me and just made me cringe. Furthermore, unfortunately this ROM hack came to an involuntary halt at 2014, with the creator realizing the flaws in the plot and promising to restart the project with a fresh new plot, only to never return after. It wasn't until this year that a man by the name of Hack's Repairman decided to work on finishing this game based on what Chaos said he would have done had he ever finished this game. As a result, whilst he did his best to emulate the ideas that left, it really didn't have the same swagger and execution which this hack had when Rush was working on it, which overall led to a quite underwhelming finale. Not that it's Repairman's fault anyways, he just made the most out of whatever information was already available anyways. Of course, I'm definitely not gonna end this review on a bad note, so let's talk more about the good things in this game. I cannot speak this enough, but the music in this game is undoubtedly next level and arguably the best ever produced in a ROM hack. Not only is the quality of all the custom tracks great, but it also helps in tying in very well to the characters and the personalities that this hack is attempting to portray. It tells their entire story, the feelings they possess, and in closing, truly does get the message across. It's not just for the characters either, but many songs of routes and even the trainer battle itself has been remade, and just like with every single new track in this hack, it's just as good. The creator himself openly said that he is ashamed of ever creating this because he realizes that this hack does have many flaws that I believe I have mentioned. For that, here's what I have to say. Is what you say true in some shape or fashion? Yes. Is it inconsistent at times and prone to be accused of questionable writing? Yes. But is it also true that when you made this, you were as old as a teenager and had the mindset fitting of one? Yes. So of course your maturity is bound to affect the overall product in some shape or fashion because it's a natural thing. Despite all of that, however, I can tell with full confidence that you have minimized it to the absolute maximum and still managed to put out some great quality work which people even twice as old as you don't even bother to pay attention to. From the unmatched gameplay mechanics, the amazing presentation of the whole Kanto region to look very fresh, the redone music pieces as well as the new music pieces, all of that is what makes this ROM hack truly one in a million. You, my friend, have outdone yourself despite all of these limitations, and in my opinion, there is a victory in that. Regardless, I'm sure whatever you choose to involve yourself in will be in good hands because it's your attention in details which many overlook and dedication towards working on it that makes the final product truly worth it. it. Despite its shortcomings and its unfortunate ending, Pokemon Dark Violet forever was and forever will be a ROM hack that I will hold very deeply to my heart. It, in my honest opinion, is a pure example of a trailblazer for Pokemon ROM hacks and exactly shows just how far someone's creativity involving the franchise can truly go. It's definitely something that I would highly recommend to each and every single one of you, which is why I'm going to be giving this game a solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, will be it for my third episode of Pokemon Reviews. I'm really sorry for, holding out on the third episode for quite literally half a year, guys, but unfortunately, life has different plans at times. I've had to deal with some couple of things, but thankfully, I'm trying to make the effort to get past it and make sure that I consistently bring it out to all of you, and I sincerely hope that this is the first step towards doing it. Either way, I will definitely leave the links all to this ROM hack in the description down below, so by all means, feel free to download it if you guys want, and if you have played it, please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this ROM hack. Either way, my name is DUZGunner. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a good day. Be sure to smash that like button. I'm kidding. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Peace.